And hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're excited for another great day here in GKR. And we have the most anticipated matchup of this entire event. That's right. The one we all want to see. The two undefeated teams. Calalas, Shock-13. Are we in for a shock today? Is it possible that someone stops the absolutely stacked Calalas, just coming off of a championship in the first split of the National Series? Well, of course, here they are, running their way through GKR. Our first match of the day will be in this moment. Of course, our matches today, Calalas versus Shock-13, both undefeated, and then Rising Sun Esports against French Swat for our second matchup. Our opening set of the day, 1v1 3v3 best of one. Lucas versus Pedro, Vitor versus Furkan, and then, if necessary, Mugi versus Sub. And look at the collection of bans here. Hog, Miner, Fishboy, Poison NATO, Mortar, and Inferno Tower. It's going to be interesting, and guess what? I'm here for it just as well as you are. Hello, everyone. I'm Rich Slayton, and this is GKR Week 4, Day 2. And yes, we have the big undefeated versus undefeated matchup coming at you here in just a couple of moments. We are, of course, live on both Twitch and YouTube, so wherever you're watching, I hope you're enjoying it. I see a lot of... We have Mod City in on YouTube today. I see Anish in there, Sandy, Emma. Big pile. Going to be a whole lot of fun today, folks. So again, two matches, Calalas versus Shock-13, Rising Sun Esports versus French Swat. Set number 1. That 3v3 BO1. After that, we go to a 1v1 set, duel mode. And then finally, if necessary, King of the Hill. And man, this selection of bans, I have to say, is kind of wild. Is definitely kind of wild. Hog out. Miner out. NATO out. Poison. Fishboy. So here's the question. NATO out usually means Golem and E-Giant both are in a whole lot of trouble. But Inferno Tower is out. Still, you got to think Golem and E-Giant are both dead. Fishboy being out, is there a Royal Giant deck you can play without Fisherman? Does that even exist right now? Possible decks we might see today. Graveyard. Poison's gone. Graveyard gets a buff. And, of course, there's not much there for it. Graveyard we might see today. Bridge Spam we might see today in various forms. Double Bait, potentially. We're going to see a lot of Log and a lot of Bar Barrel, so maybe not. I see someone, Mustafa, saying Balloon is the key. Maybe we'll see some Balloon today. Certainly with NATO out and Inferno Tower out and Mortar out, that does open up some Balloon opportunities. But of course, that's going to be Balloon Cycle rather than Miner Loon. Could it be Lava Loon as a potential? So we just don't know. This does make a really interesting meta for today, folks. And you know what? I'm excited for it. Mustafa asking, why are these cards banned? Well, because each team has the option to ban up to 4 cards. 2 troops, a spell, and a building. Yesterday we saw a match where there was only 1 card banned total. And today we see a match where both teams exercise all 4 of their bans, resulting in 7 cards being banned because of both sides taking out Miner. Poison's out, which means Fireball's up. So we're going to see a lot of Royal Hogs, or people are going to be leaning towards Lightning. But all the Lightning decks use either NATO or Fisherman. Unless you're going to run Bridge Spam with Lightning. But that's not the popular bridge spam deck right now. Very, very strange. Just all over the place today. And you know what? I'm excited to see what they do with it. Very excited to see what they do with it. Now, hold on. Let me take a look at some roster stuff here for a second. So, those of you saying, hey, no Mohamed Light today, and you're sad about it, don't worry. The 1v1 lineup is Mohamed Light versus Betfas. So our opening set here, Lucas versus Pedro, Vitor versus Furkan, Mugi and Sub if necessary. That's set number 1. Set number 2 will be Mohamed Light versus Betfas. So we are going to be seeing some Mo today. Don't you worry, folks. Don't you worry your little hearts. I know you're nervous. And Sandy with a good point here. Teams and rosters are in the description below. So if you want to see which teams are playing and who is on those teams, go into the description below and you can get all of it. And looks like we are about to kick off here in just a moment. Hog, EQ, Mortar. Well, there is no Hog and there's no Mortar allowed because they are banned. So we'll see what happens with this very interesting meta that we'll be seeing today. Little hellos to everybody. Igor, hello, how are you? Hope you guys are ready. Again, we do have 2 matches. Right now, it's the 2 undefeated teams. The winner today will take control of the league overall at 4-0. Loser will drop to 3-1. And will be still in second place, quite nicely. Calalas with Furkan, Tyton, Sub, Pedro, Surgical Goblin, and Betfas. I mean, Shock-13. Calalas with Doom, Lucas, Vitor, Ruben, Molite, and as you can see, Mugi. And our second match of the day, Rising Sun Esports with a very, very nice lineup. Ta, Pandora, Greco, Air Surfer, Reiki Jones, and Spring. And then French SWAT with Chetty, a.k.a. Ilion, Z, Hugo, Viper, Paolo, and Paradox. And we have not seen much in the way of Viper so far in these competitions. And he's still not on the roster for today. So the French squad just not quite trotting out their Hog Exy NATO champion. And someone's asking me, where's Juicy J's live for DreamHack on Twitch? I have no idea. He should be live as far as I know. So again, 3v3 BO1s. It's going to be Lucas versus Pedro. And it's not King of the Hill, it's 3v3 BO1, because then it's Vitor versus Furkan. And then if we go to a game 3, it's going to be Mugi versus Sub. That's going to be the story today. And up first, Lucas and Pedro. We should be jumping into that in just one moment. Hey, I'm glad y'all are here. Keep in mind, if you haven't yet, I know most of you are probably subscribed to the channel already, but if you aren't, go ahead, subscribe. Those of you watching on YouTube, because we are going to be back this weekend with the Queso Cup Grand Finals. And if you haven't yet, turn on your notifications so you don't miss it. Hit the bell. So many of you are here so quickly when I go live, so it tells me a lot of you probably had notifications on, but if you don't already, hit them, because I know you don't want to be missing that Queso Cup final this weekend. It's going to be so good. I'm really pumped for it. A lot of money on the line as part of that year-long event. Let's go ahead, though, and jump into what's right in front of us. Lucas versus Pedro. And let me go ahead and... I need to fix something here for a second. So there we go. All right. My guess here, Lucas running bridge spam. It could be some sort of weird loon deck. But Rage right now primarily in bridge spam decks. And we might be getting... Are we getting a camera for Pedro here? Nope. Just his picture. Shock-Calalas are OP with 3 world champs. Yeah. I agree. It's kind of crazy. Air Surfer saying maybe Sparky. Ooh, yeah, Zap plus Rage and hasn't gone yet. That's a good point. That's a very good point. By the way, someone asked me recently who I think the most underrated player is, and Air Surfer, just so you know, I voted you. I think you're the most underrated player in Clash Royale right now. Not among pros. Pros know you're gangster, but amongst the population, they just don't know. So, MK Prince, Miner wall breakers. But no Miner, so he's playing this with Drill, maybe? And great call from Air Surfer. So this is probably a Drill variation. We saw this run yesterday when Miner was banned. And that Mega Knight's going to touch. That's unfortunate for Lucas to take the slam plus the 2 more. 1476 on that bottom left-hand side as Lucas takes a beating here to open things up. Certainly not as much as he probably wanted to take. And it's going to be all about one big push now for Lucas. He's up against Zap, Prince MK. That's a big raged up push. I don't know if it can break through, though. Sparky goes down. That's it. GG. Well, Lucas being a little bit unpredictable here, going Goblin Giant Sparky. But it's not going to pay off. One more arrows will finish the game, and that should be pretty simple pickings here for Pedro. He does have to cycle all the way back around. And that's an interesting... There we go. Boom. GG. Well played. Very nicely done. I think that they should add a graphic here that indicates who won those first games. I'm going to actually tell them right now. It would be nice to indicate on the current screen who won and lost. They've been asking me, hey, what can we do to amp up this production a little bit? And that's what I think. MK Prince is meta now. Yeah, of course it is. It's been very meta. Yeah, you tell him, Rich. No, they asked nicely, like, hey, what can we do to continue to improve this? And I didn't have any ideas, and just now, I had the idea that it should be like Lucas's name's in a different color and Pedro's name is like gray or something like that. Siok in the building. Siok in the building. Let the Furkan show begin. How did Pedro defend that rage push? Well, I didn't take a replay on that one, but you know, you MK, you Zap. Not that it wasn't that crazy to vend. Just got to hit it with a bunch of stuff. Let's go ahead, jump into game number 2 here. Pedro, by the way, who we just saw. Ooh, extra T on Vitor's name. Pedro, who we just saw, is Clash Royale Esports just put up a Twitter post and Instagram post listing the 5 top game winners in the league so far. Pedro, with 55 games won, tied for 4th with Kickash, Clown. Miner Mortar deck is meta deck. Mortar Miner isn't super meta at the moment. It's good, but it's not as meta as it was like a month and a half ago. It's still, I mean, it's still meta, I guess. That's unfair of me to say it's not. It's just not insanely dominant and the only deck you see anywhere, as it was for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So this is unsurprising to see bridge spam on both sides of the deck. I thought people would be running the most due to the bans. And so far, Furkan putting some heat. So just double checking, not quite a mirror match here. The Ghost versus the Goblins is a pretty significant difference. And so far, the Ghost winning the day here. Goblins don't present that much offensive pressure, and they're not tremendous on defense in this matchup because of all the splash. They're okay, but it feels like the Ghost is maybe a better option. Although the Goblins will be nice against things like that Inferno Dragon. So it does feel like the dual lane pressure from the Ghost is potentially going to be more of an issue, but let's go ahead and see. For now, it is Vitor in the lead. And what a play. Furkan trying to see if he can break through here. Plenty of elixir for Vitor. Oh, and he doesn't protect the Magic Archer. It feels like Magic Archer value might be the big difference maker here. And doesn't get the Barb Barrel as well. I don't know, I do have Air Surfer here in the chat. Air Surfer, what do you think? Goblins or Royal Ghost? Should see a Barb Barrel here for a little cleanup. Ram Rider breaking through. And so far, the Goblins are taking the day, and maybe the cycle is just an issue. Furkan just thirsting for elixir, unable to stop any of this, and that's going to be a GG, I believe. Does the Ram Rider touch? No, just barely doesn't. And Air Surfer calling out the Magic Archer that I mentioned earlier. Ghost probably wins this, but failing to protect the Magic Archer and overspending probably a problem. And there we go. We're all tied up. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a... Oh, you know what? That's what I need to be doing, right? Isn't that how I do this? And then the music is on. What is happening? Why is my... It feels like my entire setup has gone wacky. What? You know what? You know what? Now I realize what's happening. Please hold, folks, as I fix something. Going back and forth between National Series and GKR made for some funkiness. Hey, Vanguard's raiding with a party of 7. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and take this little snapshot here for the production team so I can tell them what I mean. And we'll jump back over here for a second. All tied up now, Mugi versus Sub, the last game, and I don't know if Sub is in here. And Vanguard's saying what's up. Sub was late, so I don't know if this is going to be a free win or not because of Sub being late. Let me just go double check here and see if Sub has made it in. Oh man, Sub didn't show up, and their sub already played. So what a big rip here. Sub didn't show, And so free win for Shock-13. I know these are kind of smaller events by comparison to some of the big stuff, but come on, folks. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be somewhere. Or communicate early enough so that people know. Very, very rough. So here we go. Our best of 3 1v1 duel mode set. Betfas with a tall task in front of him, taking on the world champ. And the man who's basically winning everything right now. Can Betfas make up for Sub's absence with a win here? It's a lot of pressure being put on him here. What's in the pink box? What do you think's in the pink box? Is it just me, or is Ramrod hard to defend without a building? Yes, you are correct. My hummus was out of this world. My hummus, you enjoyed it. Wonderful. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Thank you very much. Maybe he's having internet issues. You gotta communicate. You are responsible for your internet when competing in a game that's on the internet. I can beat Mo, says a guy. Says a person. What's up, Rich, says Damien. Hello. Guys, we are potentially in our final set of our opening match today. Calalas versus Shock-13. 2 undefeated teams. Your team is undefeated and you don't show up? Come the heck on. Your team is undefeated and you don't show up, and your team loses the set. Those of you who want the recipes, boom, here we go. Let's jump into our matchup. Mohamed Light versus Betfas. Again, this is duel mode. It's not in-game duel mode, as you will see. It's just a regular old classic duel mode. What in the heck? Where did my OBS just go? Somehow my OBS just disappeared. What in the world just happened? There we go. That was amusing. One second, folks. Slayton getting blown up, as always. And here we go. Now I'm back in, and oh, look, balloon. I wonder if he's using Loon Drill here, as this generally runs minor. Oh, wait. We're in duel, so there's no bans. So, there you go. There's the minor. It can be distracting when you are getting blown up while trying to cast. And that snowball might be a problem for Betfas. He's got 10 against him and only 6 that he's playing with. Going to play some catch-up here. Goblin's going to get onto that giant skeleton, and Mo mirrors up. Flying Machine outside of tower range, and Bird will pick it up. And that Ghost's going to go ahead right into the tower here. Zappies do not turn the Phoenix. Phoenix does go down, though. But it does feel like the elixir is continuing to go towards Mohamed Light. And Betfas, no more bomb tower available. That's a lot of pigs on tower. Sweet! There's the piggies. Arrows get on top of those goblins, and that's a GG in game number 1. That's just a tough matchup situation in the first place. And then to get into the trouble he got into, let's go ahead and take a look at the finish here. And where's my music? Oh, the song switched, so it got very quiet. Boom, there we go. All right, so you can see, let's just go ahead and stop this for a second. Take a look at this. Bomb tower is down. You've got goblins in there. But there's a giant skeleton. You can't really get to this flying machine here in the middle. Zappy's helping. So that bomb tower is going to die and not really do anything. Because watch, when it goes down, the giant skeleton is near there, but all that's going to do is let this giant skeleton tank and then explode. And now you have one elixir, all you have is a phoenix, and you're up against a whole lot of piggies and a flying machine. That's just it. That's just it. Arrows come out. GG, well played. So, Miner is out on the side of Betfas. Not expecting to see... Curious to see if there's... I don't know if Betfas should run any Fireball decks, considering how many Fireball targets are gone in our second game. Might see Betfas run something that runs Poison here, or something that runs Lightning. Wouldn't be surprised to see E-Giant out of Betfas, especially now with Zappies and the Fish Boy out. So we'll go ahead and see if that's the direction that he goes in. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Interesting, everyone's using that mirror in that deck again. Yeah, it's good as if you get a win with duel in that with that deck in duels. It looks like Mo was trying to snipe something with Beatdown, and Betfas instead goes with what might be a mirror match depending on the buildings. And what's up to Bubblegum and to Everton and everyone who's coming here who showed up to Twitch from Vanguard stream. Betfas going Mortar here as opposed to the Inferno Tower of Mohamed Light. And you can see the connection already valuable, but that's a big push. Valk plus AQ plus Hog Rider, and that's going to be a couple of shots here. And the Archer Queen, no, nice save with the EQ, but man, Betfas knows he got a little bit too excited there, and this is looking like it might turn hard. And Betfas going to get one shot here, and Mo just going to tank the damage and put some pressure on here. Mortar low. I don't think that Mo EQs. Oh, he does once the guards come out. And notice that. I don't know if Mo was going to EQ there, and then the guards came out, and the value was right there. And you see Betfas shaking his head. It might have been worth taking that Ice Spirit damage just to set up and let that Inferno Tower go a little bit further down. And not going to pop the ability, instead going to just go ahead and try to get as much off of that Valkyrie as possible. AQ, and man, Betfas is he's just kind of, is lost the best word here? He looks like he's just kind of trying to figure out what to do, trying to make up for lost ground, and having difficulty doing so. The guards on the right are going to do some good damage. Hog on the left will do some decent damage. Puts him back into the game. Both towers for Mohamed Light now under 2,000 HP, but that right-hand tower at 1288 is a real problem because Betfas has not figured out how to do anything about these hogs yet. And that Inferno Tower is just going to get so much value right now. It's going to take care of a Mortar and a Musketeer. Now, can this hog get past it? That's the big question. No log or EQ to support. Hog doesn't even get a shot, and you see Betfas shake his head. Just what do I do here? He's asking himself. Maybe a late mortar. No, he can't get to it because there's no elixir, and that Hog's going to get a couple. Wow. 3 Hog shots, GG, and Betfas just can't believe it. I mean, sure, he can believe it. Look who he's playing against, but... And, man, the mortar and musketeer to that left-hand lane where the Inferno Tower just ruined it was a huge problem for Betfas. And just like that, easy dubs here. Easy dubs for Shock-13. They're going to go ahead and update that score here in just a moment. So we have a leader and no surprises. Shock-13 is going to be 4-0. And I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get some other stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and jump back over here with you guys for a second. Let me catch up to the chat for a moment. We have a few minutes now. Oh, okay, they did just go ahead and update the score. Let me go ahead and show that to you. So yesterday we had OLIMPO squad winning 2-1 and Strangers winning 2-1. Shock-13 now 2-0, going to remain undefeated as Shock-13 does give up their first set. Or their first match, I mean. And we don't have a leaderboard to show you at the moment. We will show one to you when today's matches are over. But currently, Shock-13 now 4-0, Shock-13 3-1. Shock-13 is currently guaranteed to hold on to second place for at least one more week. For at least the rest of this week, as OLIMPO squad is now 2-2. And Rising Sun Esports, actually, this is a good note. Rising Sun Esports with a win today could actually jump into third place. Excuse me on that one. Rising Sun Esports currently 2-1, and they might be able to jump into second place here. They might not be able to beat the plus-minus, though. So I think Shock-13 will stay in their position. But Rising Sun Esports with a chance to jump into the top 3 with a win today over French Swat. And French Swat currently is at the bottom of the table with 1 win and 2 losses. That, of course, will be our next matchup. Give me just 1 second, folks. Give me 1 moment. All right, let's catch up to some of this Twitch chat. It's crazy how Mo's winning games against these pros that have towers touched. Yeah, he's pretty wild. How many teams are there? Asked Greg. Is there a lead overview? You can actually all go and check out the standings here at this link. Those of you who do want to see. There's 8 teams. We are currently in week 4, right? Week 4. We're in week 4 of 7 weeks of group play. And then our 8th week, which will be in May, will be the grand finals week. So there you go. That's all the information you need there. Let's see. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of the chat. I'm still trying to catch up with some of this chat. Let me go here. Let me go ahead and do this. And why do they make it so much harder on here? Why does Twitch make it so much harder? YouTube, you can just mod someone so easily. But Twitch just wants to make it really annoying to mod somebody. Hello, everybody who's joining over on Twitch right now. And there we go. Mo can use that against him, which he plays Mother Witch in that deck. Oh, that's from earlier. Easy. Inferno Tower's OP, maybe. TBH, anyone plays bad against Mohamed Light. Even pros who are great, if they ever played, Mo just have it harder. Yeah, they get so nervous about him. Congrats for 100K. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If Mo quit competitive, would actually be so much more interesting. LOL. Maybe. And it's Smurflay with a good point. Depends on how you interpret interesting. Yeah, like, because one of those things about that is like, if Mo isn't here, do you kind of just go, but are you really? Like, if Mo quit, if Mo was like tomorrow was like, you know what, I'm not going to play the rest of 2023. Wouldn't you kind of question the 2023 world champion just a little bit? Wouldn't you be like, but are you really the world champion? If Mo's not in the world championship? Dear Greg saying, to say pros play bad against Mo, it's discrediting them, but they play good. He just plays better. Yes, and I see a lot of pros making mistakes I don't think they would make against other players. Inferno Tower's OP. Not really. It's just fine. So, let's see. 4 minutes until our next matchup. Reminder, and I don't have graphics. I don't think I have graphics for this yet. Let me go see if I can actually find graphics for this. Because I thought we were going to have some. Where are the graphics that I believed we were going to get? We do not yet have graphics for it. Unfortunate. I thought that we would. But this weekend, I was going to show some graphics to show it off. This weekend, it's Queso Cup Finals. So that'll be super fun. I don't have nothing to show. I have nothing to show you there to promote it. But Saturday, Sunday, come back here. Has Calalas played yet? Yes, they just won. They're great. Is there one more set of match? This is only one more match today, folks. Here's a look at this week's or at today's lineup. We just saw Calalas Shock-13, and coming up next here in just a few minutes is going to be Rising Sun Esports up against French Swat. Rising Sun with a chance to jump into the top 3. Not really. Mo always wins. I get it. He's good, but him being there does ruin the games a little. It's an automatic win for Mo. Yeah, I just like... It's not like he isn't a human being, right? It's not like people are playing against a computer. So beat him. Put in, like... It's people being like, well, golf is boring when Tiger's there. Beat Tiger. Now, I mean, he's old now, but you know what I mean. Let's take a look at our lineups now for our opening set here. Rising Sun versus French Swat. Ta versus Z, the opening game. Reiki versus Paolo. And Greco versus Hugo. We can maybe get a little... what is it called on Twitch when you do the betting on Twitch? Like the polls on Twitch or whatever. You know what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and put a little poll right here. Let's go set 1. Who wins set 1? Will be our poll here on YouTube. Channel points predictions. There you go. That's what I meant. I'm not a Twitch streamer, guys. I'm a YouTube person who streams on Twitch. I guess we're in a gameplay. Who also streams on Twitch, so people who want to watch on Twitch can watch there. And French SWAT not even French SWAT not even bothering with bans, which is interesting. Rising Sun banning Fisherman, Lava Hound, Rocket, and the Goblin Hut. Sandy, I don't know much about these teams. Well, the Rising Sun Esports team is really stacked. Ta, of course, monthly final winner from CRL 2021 and has become a very solid player in CRL overall. Ta currently, let me see, where is he right now? Ta currently 53rd overall on our CRL rankings. And the rest of that Rising Sun roster, Pandora just won a golden ticket to World Finals. Greco, a.k.a. Lentils, is always gangster. Air Surfer, top player in the U.S. and just comes off of a great performance at World Finals. Reiki Jones, Japanese legend. And Spring running it out. We saw Spring play yesterday in the National League, in the third-place match for the National Series. French Swat, almost all French players, and I believe their last player, Paradox, who's Russian. I believe he's living in France maybe now. But Chetty, a.k.a. Ilion, who just went to our monthly final. Z's been around for a minute. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what Z's kind of biggest accomplishments are. He was part of the France team that won or got second place at No Tilt Worlds in 2021. He's played a lot he's represented his country a lot in international competition. So that's he has some top 10 finishes on ladder. Hugo, obviously one of the top players in France. Viper, many top 1 finishes on ladder. Was competitive for CRL and kind of disappeared here. But the Hogexy NATO player. Paulo, BK Paulo. And then, yeah, Paradox, who's a very solid player as well. So very fun. Balloon connection here for Z. Big balloon connection. Ta having some trouble. Despite Ewiz and Bird not able to stop these balloon connections. Do I see another Ta scenario happening where a complete unknown wins a monthly final? Either the golden ticket or the actual tournament. That's going to be hard, and I don't know. I don't know if Ta was a complete unknown amongst the pros and the Japanese scene. Certainly, he was unknown in the West. But yeah, someone of that like profile winning a monthly final. I think that the fact that it's in-game duels makes it more likely than it's been in the past. But who knows? And Ta gonna lose this Ewiz and this Bird. If Z can protect all of this, and the Giant Skeleton will do a good job of it. Giant Skelly decks are really what you want against this MK Prince deck. Most of the best counters for it appear to be Giant Skeleton decks. In the past, you had pre-submitted decks. Yeah, I think Ta won in the pre-submitted era, right? Because, remember, partway through CRL 2021, and Balloon connects again. Boom. GG, well played. Z, big win here. Let's end this poll so you all have to live with it that 76% of you picked Rising Sun to win. 75% of you. Why Sandy Rich can't answer questions? I'm answering a bunch of things all at once. So I don't know what you're asking. Do you know when Fix-It best league history wrong show? I don't know about bugs, man. I don't know. That's why I didn't answer that question. I have no idea about bugs. That's not I have nothing to do with how the game is developed, with balance changes, with bug fixes. I have no idea. So that's why I didn't answer that question. But I can answer you. No, I do not know. So let's see. Let's go Rising Sun, yeah. Imagine someone makes a deck using the 8 cards banned in one of these matches. That would be weird. 2 buildings. All right, here we go. Next up, Reiki and Paulo. So, yes, we are in the when Ta won, it was the pre-submitted decks era. But then we switched off of pre-submitted decks back to regular duels. Back to pre-submitted decks makes that Ta thing more likely. Do I watch cricket? No, I do not. Rich, do you play Clash Royale? What's Clash Royale? So those of you who don't know, Paulo, 8.5K personal best on Legacy Ladder, currently 65th on our CRL rankings. Also part of that French team. This is most of these players played for France, either in WRL or Noto Worlds or a bunch of those different leagues. And talking about best performances, best ranked finish as a couple in the top 100, 46th. And then if you go to old school ladder, top 200. Do I play this game? This is a game? I thought we were just watching a television show together. Will our favorite Drill One Trick Alpha QQ play? Well, since he's not on any of the rosters, my answer would be no. Non-in-game duels without pre-submission are the most competitive, which is what they're doing here in this competition. But yes, they use in-game duels to make things a little bit simpler for production and to allow for in-game spectators. The current time here is 10:46 in the morning in Central Texas. The answer to the question on screen right now is Air Surfer. So in general, my understanding of this mirror match is whoever gets the better Golden Knight connection. Bryson Ramsey saying, where in Texas are you from? I'm not from Texas. I am what the thing Texans hate the most, which is a Californian. I grew up in Sacramento, went to school in Santa Barbara, lived in LA for 14 years, but my wife is from Texas. We moved here a couple years ago, and I live in Austin. Not far from Waco. I actually want to go to Waco because I really liked the disc golf course they played there on the Pro Tour, and I want to go check it out. So far, so good for Paolo and French Swat. It would be really rough here for Rising Sun to give up a shot at third place to a team that has really been struggling the way French Swat has. Yes, I play Clash of Clans very casually. Opponent can make your deck would not be fun. Clash with Jiraiya, mostly because your opponent would just make you a nonsense deck. Like, it's only defensive buildings and, like, Royal Delivery. Aspect Cyber asking a question that really shouldn't need an answer, but I'll give you one. And, man, Paolo just getting it done. Reiki trying. And easy GG, well played. Easy set number 1 here for French Swat. 2-0. So now we're going to head into our set number 2 here in just a moment. I also thought Goblin Hut was banned, but now it says Furnace. Yeah, maybe they got it wrong in the initial graphics. Burger King Paolo! Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. And guys, I'm excited for this one. Our second set, the 1v1, CRL World finalist, Air Surfer, up against Ilion, a.k.a. Chetty FL God, monthly finalist from last month. Let's see. Will Mugi play any of these days? Mugi already played, or was going to play, in our last match, and then his opponent didn't show up. Yeah, poll went the other way. Results French Swat, though. French Swat got the first set. All right, let's go ahead and do a little poll here for our second one. Air Surfer or Ilion, a.k.a. Chetty. And I'm going to go ahead and do Air Surfer and Ilion Chetty. Boom. Posted. Here we go. Let's jump right into it. Bryson Ramsey. I'm moving to Austin once I graduate in a month. Waco has the best disc golf spots. Austin has some great ones, too, if you play. Any Austin coffee shops or good spots to keep my eyes out for? Plenty of them. Are you graduating from high school or from university? Are you going to be a Baylor grad, or I don't know what the high schools in Waco are? So RG Fireball probably here for Ilion. Do I think archers are still viable? Viable, yes, but not preferred in most matchups. And I'm just going to go ahead and close this poll now. Who is better, Riley or Ian? The answer to that question, as I already said, is Air Surfer. Graduating from Baylor. Hey, congratulations. Let me know when you're in Austin if you play disc golf. I'm down to play. Preeper Omega, Aaron Adept Surfer Batch is really funny. This guy is talking about EGW, who did just qualify for DreamHack next phase. Do you have any tattoos? No, I have clean skin. No tattoos. Not against it, just have never felt there's something I wanted to put on my body permanently. And Monk against Musketeer is always pleasant for Air Surfer. Solid lead here for Ilion. And Air Surfer just having trouble getting to these RGs. Fireball's doing its job. Monk is doing a great job. The minor pace from Air Surfer is nice, but it's still a difficult challenge. He's just trying to outpace on the right. That's a full-on naked poison on the right-hand side. Interesting game plan here from Air Surfer. He's just trying to win a foot race. Fascinating. Just can't do anything about that Monk. There's a log reflection. Can you DPS this down before it kills your tower? 296, left-hand side basically done. Wallbreaker's just going to get handled. And now one fireball away. And Air Surfer is in a full send here. Miner into the back. The Hunter does not turn away from the Miner. Poison plus Miner won't be enough to do it, I believe. That Miner's still going, though. Fireball down. And that was closer. That was closer than it really should have been. That was a lot closer than it should have been. Very interesting. That was much closer than it should have been. Rich, do you know the process of how team qualifies for the events? No, I do not, actually. I have no idea. Have your clan in CR, I want to join. Like my clan? What's wrong with CR quality video? Is there something wrong with it? It's a clean feed, so it is what it is. If I ever get a tattoo, I'm traveling hundreds of thousands of miles. Hundreds if not 1,000 miles to get the best tattoo parlor for my needs. Ain't no way I'm going to trust in some rando. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Miniminter saying that, or Yuso saying that Miniminter took Z's place in DreamHack. Interesting. Bryson with the for sure. For sure, dude. I went and I threw this morning. Had a rough round. I lost a disc on hole 6. One of my more expensive discs, actually, which I'm really frustrated about. It's a disc. It's full tilt. Discmania Simon Lizotte full tilt, and lost it. And I'm really frustrated because it's the second one I've lost. And it was a second throw. It was a fun throw. It wasn't even an actual throw. It was like I was throwing it for fun to try a line with it, and I just didn't see where it went. Couldn't find it. And then I had to get back here to stream. And nobody on that course ever returns discs, it seems. I have lost 3 discs there with numbers on them. Never had a text or a call. Not surprised you lost a full tilt. You know what? I honestly don't even know how it, where it went. I don't know, the shot shouldn't have disappeared, but that disc turns so hard when it skips, and then I didn't have time. I didn't have time to go find it. I spent 5 minutes trying to find it, and then I had to rush home for the stream, so. Another E-Giant versus E-Giant matchup. And Air Surfer getting a really nice exchange here to open things up. Ends with the damage advantage and an elixir lead. I don't know why the music was still on. My second full tilt that I've lost. Well, I think the first one might have gotten lifted from my bag, or I left it on a course somewhere. I didn't lose it. Just one day it wasn't in my bag. I don't remember what happened. Oh, that Golden Knight. Ilion just hung that E-Giant way out there, and that Golden Knight's just gonna practically end things here. E-Giant gonna get in deep. Oh boy. Oh boy. Good luck. I have personally texted or called to return at least a dozen, if not 2 dozen discs. I've never not called or texted. Even if I found unmarked, I've held it in my bag and asked people if it's their disc. And Ilion just trying to YOLO this. It's not impossible he takes this tower. But he's going to get 3 crown back. So there you go. GG, well played. Game 3 on its way. Where am I from? I live in Austin, Texas. Will ladder remain as Mega Draft game mode? Not after this. It's just for 1 season. Inferno Dragon better than Phoenix and G-Giant in most cases. GG. Yeah, I feel you. Set game number 3 on its way. All that didn't even take the tower. I feel that. Chris S. Lost one of my faves in Florida, and the day I got home to Utah, someone called me. I paid and shipped back. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice of them. A full tilt is like a really, it's like on the upper end of expensive too. I think I paid almost 30 for mine. 25 or 30. It's on the more expensive side of discs. But I bag one for tech shots, but I was like, oh, let me try. So, okay, this is only for a few people, but it's in between games, right? But so I decided to throw a hard blade flick on a hole where I always throw I usually throw a Firebird hyzer to hook into the pin, and I birdie it 8 times out of 10. I decided to throw this hard blade flick because I wanted to try a little trick shot where it would flip out, turn S back over, and then skip towards the basket. And obviously it skipped, and I have no idea where it skipped to. Just brutal. Don't know about disc golf. How many do you own at a time? Too many. In my bag, I carry 15 or 17 discs. So, Hog Mortar guards for Ilion. And he's going to have nothing for this flying machine. You're going to try to musketeer a flying machine, maybe? I guess the bigger question, and that's not going to activate. Hog's going to die. So this is an interesting one for Air Surfer, right? Because he has some cards he can abuse that Ilion really can't do anything about, right? He can't really do anything about the flying machine. Zappies are hard for him to deal with. Not impossible. But the cycle situation here, Air Surfer really can't stop Hogs. He has to try to DPS them down, maybe stun lock. Hope that Fish Boy's in cycle and not distracted. He might go Pigs opposite lane here, or does he go Pigs behind this? Fisherman getting tanked for by the Giant Skeleton. That's really nice for Air Surfer. Muskie's going to go down because of the Giant Skeleton bomb. And now Air Surfer sets up. Ilion. Nice lead here. And Air Surfer going to play the same lane game. That should be it. He should activate as soon as that. Oh, the arrows almost beat that out. Flying Machine doesn't get on tower. Good pickup by Ilion with the guards. And now Hog in. I don't know if Air Surfer can stop this Hog. Zappy's down. He has to spend a lot. Still gets a Hog shot. Arrows doing some work for Air Surfer. Double arrows, the mirror, the GG, and we are all tied up. Head into set number 3. Let's get it, folks. Let's get it, folks. Taking a look at the ending here. Both these guys had, like, not much for the Musketeer or for the Hog that Air Surfer can do. On the flip side, Ilion going to struggle against Pigs, as we saw, and the mirror arrows end up being great. You're spending 7 on them, but it's 7 well spent here when you free up that flying machine. Very, very nicely done. Let's watch that one more time. And Air Surfer just needed to survive until we got into double, where he could actually do some pretty nasty pushes. Zappy's here. They don't even prevent the Hog shot, but now he has... Look at this. Let's take a look at what happens here. Right? So let's back up a second. After that exchange, let's take this way back a little bit and see and walk through. You know me, I love to walk through Elixir. So when all of this ends up, it's because that flying machine is so annoying, those guards had to be spent. Oh, looks like we're getting into our King of the Hill set. Never you mind. Bryson, I'm down. Let's do it. Oh, let me turn off the music. All right. King of the Hill, Spring in the lineup. Why are Mirror and Clone not in the Mega Draft mode? Because they're so specific. I don't know. I think that people would be really annoyed if Mirror and Clone were in there from like it's a waste of a space perspective. A lot of people are using Musk over Archers, the point from Smurf Blade. Yeah, and a lot of that was because of Golden Knight. Although now that started because of Golden Knight. Now Golden Knight's nerfed. People are still using Musketeer because it's powerful and because the Archers got nerfed. Yuso saying a weird deck from Spring. This Drill mini P.E.K.K.A deck has been around. It's been being played a lot lately. Bandit, surprisingly, gets kind of stuck there. Someone are asking, what is the best champion right now? I think it's the Monk at the moment. That's my opinion. Golden Knight Dash does get a nice connection pretty deep into Spring's backfield. And with that, a solid counter push. Drill, Cannon Cart, Mega Knight to clean up all of that at the bridge. But the Magic Archer does not get in the splash of that MK, and that's a problem for Spring. And Yusuf saying, wait until they wait until they add a new champion. $90 seconds left. Magic Archers have been key for Z here. Spring hasn't been able to get on them with the miners, and they've been getting protected decently at the bridge. This one's going to go ahead and die, but Z's going to set up low with Zappies. And that Mini P.E.K.K.A. will make short work of the Mega Knight with the Cannon Cart in tow. Zappy's doing great too. It feels like Spring is one mistake away from really giving up a ton of damage here. Just one small slip up. Mega Knight Leap did help there a little bit, but Cannon Cart more than up to the task of shutting this down. 30 seconds left. I don't know what that NATO was about. That was not a good NATO. Spring is just single laning this. Arrows in. No leap for the Mega Knight, and now he finally puts in some opposite lane pressure with the Wall Breakers. Wall Breakers do escape from the Prince, but the NATO pulls it all together. And that's GG, well played. Easy win there for Z. And let's see. Mega Knight Mini P.E.K.K.A. is quite unlucky. Yeah, no good. What's your main deck, Rich? I'm kind of all over the place. I've never mained a deck for more than like 2 or 3 seasons. So I bounce around. I tend to play Cycle mostly. I love Magic Archer NATO. So anything Magic Archer NATO. Probably my overall best deck ever was Drill Marcher NATO. McCall saying irrelevant bans on purpose. I didn't want to ban anything else. Well, you have some guys on the side of French SWAT who can play Lava. Rocket is kind of an irrelevant one. They didn't have to ban anything, though. They could have just banned nothing there. Which games are you playing besides Clash? Not a lot right now. I was playing... I mean, I play Clash of Clans occasionally. I was playing a lot of Marvel Snap, but I've been too busy. I used to play Apex Legends all the time, but now that I have my second kid, I have really no time for that. I used to play at night, but now I sleeps at a premium. Yuso hates Magic Archer NATO. Here we go. Z-Star stays on. King of the Hill. Yuso, call up Clash Discs. Tell them that I'm trying to make a deal with them. They don't respond. I haven't responded to my emails or my Twitter posts yet. Maybe a Finnish disc golf player can get their attention. What's funny, and you call him Z, in France we call him Zed. Ah, good point. Bait is the best amount of the meta. Just make gameplay fun. I hate bait. I hate playing it. I hate playing against it. I like nothing about bait. Bait is probably besides Golem. Bait's probably my next most hated archetype. I feel like I also get BM'd more by bait players than any other. I mean, also like bait players and Golem players both seem to BM a lot. Maybe it's because I lose to bait and Golem a lot though. And Miner does protect the Musketeer long enough. Wow. That Miner just walked just ahead. Zed is just hanging around. All of those interactions felt like they were a 1/10 of a second away from going the opposite direction and really swinging the game heavily towards Grieco. Magic Archer Nails is the most annoying combination ever. Maybe that's why I like it, because I hate it when you're... I think my biggest thing is I hate when I can't connect my win condition to a tower. Like, it really bothers me when I can't get a win condition on tower, but there's no way to break through. And Magic Archer NATO solves that problem. You can always break through with Magic Archer NATO. Whether you'll win is a different question. But you're not going to be, like... It gives you a second option of how to get on tower. Maybe that's also why I like Miner so much, is because you're never like, there's no way to break through. There's no way to break through is my least favorite thing that happens in Clash Royale. Which is probably why, as a caster, I still to this day will say the Barb Hut meta was the worst meta as a caster. By far. It was the most boring thing to cast. Ooh, big mortar connection here for Zed. Big mortar connection for Zed. Yeah, we're sticking with Zed. It's so much more fun to say. These mortars just running rampant. Man, Rising Sun Esports going to need a King of the Hill reverse sweep, it looks like. Unless this does it. Unless this does it. Zed, way low on Elixir. Oh no, I caster cursed at him. I hit him with the caster's curse. Ah, Zed, I'm sorry. I cursed you. Oh, no. Oh, Zed. My apologies. Oh, I hit you with the worst curse of all time. Viper up next. Let's take a look at the replay of the end here. Look at this. So he has a mortar on, has a Mighty Miner on. So 8 Elixir on for Zed, 7 Elixir on for Grieco. They're pretty even right now. Musketeer, maybe that's because Musketeer's a little bit high. Oh, the E-Wiz. The E-Wiz just shuts all this down. So Miner plus Law try to take the E-Wiz out, and they can't. They can't do it. Bandit goes to the inside. No protection for the Muskie, so Muskie gets evaporated. And then suddenly you're like, oh, wait, I have 2 Elixir, and I haven't killed anything. No things are dead. GG, well played. Dead Zed. Let's go watch Grieco against Viper, who I have not seen play in a long time. caster curse next time he plays against Morton. How to break the caster curse. Don't get beat in a bridge fight. Is Surgical Goblin the player in the world? No, it's no longer 2017. That was a little snarky. Surgical Goblin was the best player in 2017. Was very good in 2019. I don't even know if I'd say he was the best player in the world in 2019, but Team Liquid did a great job coming together to do some great work. But Mohamed Light is the best player in the world by a long shot. By a long shot. Let's see if Viper does get the revenge here. The revenge to avenge. Oh, it's a nice Golden Knight there from Greco. You so asking, has Mo never lost a hog EQ? I don't think that's the case, but someone have to go through and pull all that information. Viper with a bit of an elixir lead goes ahead and E-Giants in the back. I've been playing this this drill variant a little bit with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's fun. It's a little more control-y, a little less bridge spammy than like when you're playing with the Zappies. Good Golden Knight. Does not get the Mini P.E.K.K.A. off, though. Does the Mini P.E.K.K.A. stay on? And it does. Good shutdown play here from Greco. And this lightning plus NATO, not going to do a lot. Still gets some damage. Viper playing this well. These Golden Knight dashes, he is giving a little bit more to the Golden Knight than he wants. That's a cheeky NATO out of Viper. Will that NATO be enough? And Greco just says, well, I also have a tornado. Waterlick saying E-Giant and Mini P.E.K.K.A. is also unlucky. Unlucky or good deck picking. Good prediction here by Rico and the Rising Sun team. Right, this isn't ladder. You know who you're playing against. You do your analysis, get your matchups. Golden Knight again. NATO to pull back. Magic Archer not going to be helpful here. That was not a good Magic Archer out of Greco. Barb Barrel does pull back. NATO's to try to get Goblins on tower. And ooh, nearly fancy from Greco, but Viper does get it. And now with Viper getting the win, Rising Sun down to its last player, Ta. So can Ta get two in a row? Can Ta beat Viper and Ilion? Otherwise, Rising Sun Esports is going to stay at the middle of the pack. Going to remain at 2-2 and stay in 4th place. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the action from that game here. Oh, wrong button. There we go. That's the button I wanted. So here we go. This was nice Golden Knight connections out of Greco. But this E-Giant, watch, the cheeky NATO comes in. And this E-Giant going in deep, it's going to get NATO'd back. But it still gets, I think this one ends up getting no damage. So this was a nice exchange overall for Greco. Right? The NATO on Viper's side. But then, of course, once again, he gives up that damage. And we're going to go jump into gameplay here. I live in Texas. And Smurfly with a good point. The E-Giant's traditionally weak to Fisherman. Fisherman ban makes E-Giant a good call. So maybe drill on both sides here. Viper could be going E-Giant again. And Viper went copy deck. Interesting choice here. Viper, a good NATO player. Known, of course, for his Hog XE NATO. Oh, and that's a nice little King Tower activation there for Greco. A good cleanup by Ta. That King Tower activation could be really impactful. And yeah, Waterlick's saying very important King Tower activation there. Now keep in mind, it's not impossible for Viper to elicit a King Tower activation. He also has NATO. I wouldn't be shocked to see him go for one at some point. But the only issue is now he has to go for one if he wants one. Right? So that then means you're playing a NATO low. You're spending 3 elixir for it. Question is, does Ta maybe bait a King Tower activation as we get later in the game and then use that to take advantage and spend behind the drill? And of course, Viper doesn't want to have to spend that NATO. Defensively late. Nice King. Oh, boy. That's all the Golden Knight damage. Okay, wave it off. GG. Ta. Did I caster curse him? Let's see. And Ta keeping the pressure on here. Don't know about that NATO. Guess it did win the bridge fight in the end. And a nice Marcher lineup here for Viper on the right-hand side. But the Golden Knight, again, just Viper giving up Golden Knight connections. Viper doing a great job with Magic Archers and doing a terrible job against Golden Knights. Of course, one Golden Knight can always steal a game here. Oh, that one didn't do it. That one didn't do it, and that's going to be it. Very well played by Ta, and we're going to a Game 5. Will Ta be able to clutch up the whole thing here? And give his team the win? Or can Ilion, a.k.a. Chetty, shut it down? Nothing more I love than a BO1 to decide a game. What is my favorite card? Say it loud, folks. The Ice Golem. Goodbye, Yvensetti? Evensetti? Antonio lives in El Paso. I've been to El Paso many times. Francois opted not to exercise their bans. Shinichi Kudo with a doppelganger card. That'd be interesting. I think it would mostly end up being a problem, but could be interesting. And reminder of our opening match. Oh, here we go. Let's jump in. Never mind. Here we go. Last match of the day, folks. Looking like potentially, well, interesting. Bridge spam versus E-Giant. Why is Witch not played in Pro League? Because Witch is bad. There are certain cards that people find really strong for when they are new to the game that do not maintain their strength as you get more advanced and access to more cards. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Just like that. Tom might get the clutch here. I'm not going to say it, folks. I don't feel like giving another caster curse. But you know what I want to say. Lucas asking, is SK game in this tournament? No, you can actually see all the teams and rosters in the description on YouTube. Good reflection on that bomber. Ram Rider does not get the advantage of that rage drop. And then Lightning Barbell shuts it down. 2 elixir advantage right now for Ilion. So how does he choose to try to do something here? Dual lane pressure out of the Frenchman. E-Giant Kite. And this Golden Knight should get burned off here. And it does. Ilion can play make some good shutdown plays. Question will be, how well does Ta offset those with those lightnings? A very aggressive E-Giant. Monk is nice against E-Giant, but not nice enough when you have lightning. Ram Rider to shut down. Trying to stop it from connecting to the tower. And that's it. That's a GG, folks. Ta! Getting it done. Whoa, what the heck just happened? Cancel that. Close that. Let's get in here, and I was trying to set up our replay. There we go. Little replay from earlier in that match. So you can see Monk cycled. And that Monk is basically dead. Right, so let's look at what's happening already. There's already 11 Elixir on the board for Ta. Lumberjack gets cycled in the back. So Ta currently has 13 if you count the whole, maybe 14 total. 10 right now for Ilion. And this Lumberjack comes in, and Ta just bombers it from the back, bar barrels, and you Ram Rider through it. Cool, you get a connection. But Magic Archer does not do enough damage here to prevent all of that coming in. And there you have it. Our results for Week 4. OLIMPO squad takes out BCN Pro Team. Strangers beats Tyton Stars. The match of the undefeated, Calalas beats Shock-13. And then Rising Sun narrowly avoids disaster and gets the 2-1 victory, which we're going to see the standings in a moment here, and I believe that will show us that they are in sole ownership of third place. So we should get that in just a moment. So as soon as we get that, I'll show it to you. Little applause here. Here we go. Now we have our standings after 4 weeks of play. And they need to adjust that 1 on the left-hand side. That should be a 2. Calalas first place. Has only lost 1 set, 4-0 in match play. Shock-13, 3-1. 6-3 in sets. Rising Sun Esports, 3-1. 7-5 in sets. And going back a little bit here, keep in mind Shock-13 does have the head-to-head advantage over Rising Sun Esports after winning against Rising Sun 2-1 in our opening week. So that is an important tiebreaker there. Shock-13 with the head-to-head tiebreaker over Rising Sun Esports. Currently now in third place. Top 4 do go on to the playoffs, and that's that green that you're seeing up there. OLIMPO squad holding on. That earlier win was super important. And now it's going to be a big question here for BCN Pro Team, who I don't know why it says 1-4 for them. I'll check up on that later. Strangers 1-3, Titan Stars Alliance. So all these teams here at 5, 6, 7, and 8, they have the ability to catch up to OLIMPO squad. And even technically Rising Sun and Shock-13, but they got to get moving and get moving now. They got to make that one happen. Folks, it has been, as always, a whole lot of fun here. GG's to everyone who's here watching. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. As always, we're going to go find someone cool to give a little raid to, give a little love to. On YouTube, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Like this to help it. We broke 100 likes, which is very nice. Remember, everybody, we are back this weekend. Queso Cup Teams Edition Split 1 Finals. Going to be a whole lot of fun right here on the channel. SB will be back for the grand finals on Sunday. And we're going to find a fun co-caster for Saturday. Either way, we're going to have a blast. So if you haven't yet, put in notifications for this weekend, and I will see you guys back here on Sunday. Everybody on Twitch, hang around on YouTube. As always, be excellent to each other, and party on, dude. Take care. Mwah. That should have been a different button. All right, hold on, Twitch. Boom.